At syempre, ang edukasyon para sa mga batang ito ay kailangan ah, para sa mga bata at sa kanilang mga tagapangalaga kaugnay sa kondisyon ng CP ay napakahalaga din. Sa naaangkop na paggagamot at suporta, ang mga batang may CP ay nabibigyan ng kakayanan na makipagkomunikasyon ng epektibo sa iba, makinabang sa edukasyon, at makasali sa pamumuhay sa lipunan at magkaroon ng naaangkop na trabaho. Kaya, ang maagang pagkilala o pag-aasikaso ay napakahalaga para sa mga batang na mayroong cerebral palsy. So, another type of motor problem is the stereotypic movement disorder. So, stereotypic movement disorder is characterized by repetitive, seemingly driven, and non-functional motor behavior. These behaviors interfere with social, academic, or other activities and may result in self-harm or injury. So, such motor behaviors do not result from any other neurodevelopmental or mental disabilities or disorder. Halimbawa dyan ay yung handshaking or waving, body rocking, head banging, yung mga yan, self-biting, and hitting their own body. There is a chance na dahil sa repetitive motor disorder ay ma-injure nila ang kanilang sarili. Siyempre, kung paulit-ulit nila yung ginagawa, like self-biting, tulad ng nasabi ko, head banging, hitting their own body, it can lead to injury. So, this disorder ay pwedeng dahil o hindi dahil sa physiological effects of a substance, at pwedeng dahil o hindi dahil sa neurological condition or medical condition. It is just present. It's just there, and it tends to come out in childhood. So when you are observing or diagnosing stereotypic movement disorder, you need to specify kung ito ay mild, moderate, or severe. Kung ito ay mild, pwede pang makontrol ng bata yung kanyang behavior. Pag ito naman ay moderate, pwedeng dyan na yung kailangan na nila ng protective measures para hindi nila ma-injure ang kanilang sarili. At kung ito naman ay severe, ito na yung nangangailangan ng plan and action. Kinakailangan silang minomonitor in a regular basis para hindi nila ma-injure ang kanilang sarili. So, paano ba matutulungan ng isang bata na may stereotypic movement disorder? Ang pinakamabisa ayon sa pag-aaral ay ang pagiging aware ng mismong bata sa kanyang kondisyon at early age pa lang. Kasi kung alam niya na yung kondisyon niya, pwede niya itong ma-restrain or yun nga, sometimes they will try to restrain their own behavior o mapipigilan yung repetitive motor disorder na ito para hindi na nila ma-injure ang kanilang sarili. Lalo na pag alam na nila yung pattern ng kanilang movement. Ang batang may SMD, kasi I will tend to have bigger chances of doing this repetitive motor disorder pag sila ay stress, pag sila ay pagod, excited, pag sila ay bored, pag sila ay galit, ganun. Or in other words, pag sila ay nakakaramdam ng extreme emotions, yun yung mostly na umaatake yung sakit na ganito, yung repetitive motor disorders. Ang SMD ay kadalasang naoobserbahan yan sa first 3 years ng isang bata. 80% of cases ng may ganitong kondisyon ay nangyayari bago sila mag 2 years old. Pag ang cause ng SMD ay physiological effects of a substance o classified lang siya as mild to moderate, pwede pa itong ma-prevent at hindi na niya madala hanggang sa kanyang paglaki. Pero pag ito naman ay classified as severe o yung cause niya is neurological condition na, ito na yung pwede niyang madala hanggang sa kanyang paglaki. So, ang biggest concern ng SMD ay ang self-injury. Kaya dapat ay namomonitor ito in a regular basis ng parents o tagapangalaga at syempre ng mga educators. So, yun yung tatlo na nabanggit yun sa libro na motor skills disorder. So, learning characteristics. Motor difficulties and disabilities are known to significantly affect a child's ability to perform daily activities, which include memory, perception and processing, planning, carrying out coordinated movements. Speech may also be affected as motor control is needed in articulation and production. Moreover, developmental coordination disorder also affects physiological functioning as children report to have lower levels of self-efficacy and competence in physical and social domains, experience more symptoms of being depressed and anxious, as well as display externalizing behaviors. Children with stereotypic movement disorder also tend to have low self-esteem tulad din nung dyspraxia. Pag meron siyang developmental coordination disorder, ganun din yung epekto sa bata. Nalolow yung kanilang self-esteem. So yun. On the other hand, a range of strengths needs to have acknowledged in every child with a disability. Students with motor movement disorders may excel in other areas of intelligences that are not controlled by motor functions. They may have adequate intelligence, creativity, and language skills depending on the severity of the disorder and the presence of sportive adult. In fact, some children and adults who are physically handicapped or have cerebral palsy have learned to paint with their mouths or feet to compensate for the rigid limbs and have done so successfully. So it is not just because of these disorders ay hindi sila mag-excel sa school. It says that there that they may have adequate intelligence, creativity, and language skills. As we observe, yung mga batang may ganitong condition, matatalino talaga sila. Nag-excel sila in academic despite of their conditions. So, sa creativity naman, pwedeng magaling silang magpinta. Talented din sila, yung mga taong may ganitong condition, marami sa kanila magagaling kumanta. So, looking at these situations, talagang masasabi natin na our God is fair. Kasi, hindi man sila, katulad natin na normal, ay pinagpala sila talaga sa ibang bagay. They just have to discover it. And our role as a future educator is to help them discover it, to let them experience a normal and friendly environment school, and to make them feel they are belong. So, doon na po nagtatapos yung aking report. Thank you po.